Sugar,
Doug Christie.
And we end the year with the beam.
Vivek
fired Mike,
but we stayed together as a team. Welcome back to episode 20 of the Kang Gang Pod.
2-0, baby. 2-0.
We made it.
Yes, sir. We're
The
back.
Harry Giles number 20. The Colby Jones. We got into number 20,
Colby
dude.
Jones.
This is awesome.
Go.
I can't believe we're here. 20 episodes in a 2-month span. Let's give it up for ourselves.
Yeah.
Hey, we've been putting in the work.
300 subscribers on YouTube.
We just hit 300 yesterday, and now we're slowly climbing. We're almost to 310 as of now. So we're cruising right now. We're loving it, and the Kings have officially ended the 6-game losing streak. We have finally won a game in about the first time in 3 weeks, boys.
Yeah.
3 weeks, dude. I forgot
long.
what the color purple looked like.
Feels like forever.
Dude, it's been a very, very, very interesting couple of days. We haven't talked about one of the biggest things that's happened in a very long time, the firing, more like the execution and manslaughter of our beloved head coach, Mike Brown. So, boys, we need to dive in with what happened.
Yep.
Well, actually, let's first start where were you when you heard the news? Because I have a good story, but I want to hear from you boys.
I want to hear from Johnny first.
So it was on Friday, right? Or was it?
I think it was Friday.
Yeah,
Friday.
It was the game after
So,
Thursday.
Yeah, I had a chill little work from home day. I was on my lunch and, just sitting at my desk at home. And I saw your guys' text at first in the chat. So I saw the...
Oh, you saw me
You're
saying,
like, oh, no.
I literally said, no.
Yeah. So that was before I
With
saw
no
any...
context.
That
Yeah.
was before I saw the Shams tweet or and anything on Twitter. And I was like expecting a trade. Like I was like, oh, did we just trade somebody? Like, did something just happen? Like, I didn't even think it would be the Mike Brown firing. I didn't think that at all. And then I saw the tweet and I was in shock. I think just like everyone else. It's crazy because we all knew something was going to happen. We just didn't think this would be the decision that's to be made for the struggling team. And yeah, I was shocked. I didn't think that would be the move that they make this quickly. So yeah, I saw it from you guys. You guys broke the news to me, and then that directed me to X, and so you guys are quick. You guys are quick.
Shams and what? Hey, I look like more like Shams. He looks more like.
I need the glasses though, and I'll be set.
Oh my god, RT, how did you hear about the news?
So I found the news out from Shams himself. I was basically.
Do you have notifications on?
I do have
Shams
notifications
texted
on.
him. Shams texted him.
Yeah.
Well,
RT was
he
probably the
always
first
texts me.
person in
He always
Sacramento to
texts
know
me.
before the team.
He leaks all the King stuff in the front office.
Sam Emick and I, we run the show in Sacramento.
You're right.
We run the show. But no, I got the notification from Shams. I was about to ready to shower up, go do my errands. And then I see the message. I see the notification that we part ways with Mike Brown. And I just remember it was like, all right, first instinct, I just got to make a video of this, just sitting on the corner. There's a corner video of me just like sitting in like this little room hallway. I have the camera set up. I'm like, look depressed as hell. I basically just look at the camera. I basically do like my little poses where I was just pure sadness. And that's just what I felt. I had friends call me. I had like so many people call and DM me and just be like, what's going on? Like, what's the most rational thinking? I had like a 30 to 40 minute conversation with John Arrow. I mentioned him a lot on the podcast, but he always DMs me and texts me about stuff. But yeah, so we had a long conversation. It was just like, where the hell do we go from here? There's just so much to talk about, but yeah, that was like my reaction was on that day, and I was depressed the entire day. So
Dude,
That was a sad video you posted. It looked like a Linkin Park music video.
Oh yeah,
sure.
I need the Tokyo filter on
Your
next
acting
time.
was good in it. I mean, it wasn't acting, but like
it's legit.
Yeah,
it was
the
like
video
pure
will be
depression.
playing
feel the
right
sadness.
here.
Yeah, it's
RT's video will be playing right here when we
pure depression.
Get your napkins, your
Yes.
tissues.
Yeah,
So-
pure depression. Like,
so-
look at this right here. It's just pure depression. I'm looking at myself, looking at the camera.
Yeah.
And yeah, that's just my face that you just saw.
I think I was more shocked too because I literally saw him getting interviewed by the local news, after
we're gonna
the
dive
press
in.
conference. So that's why I was even more shocked.
Yeah.
I was like, is this a real tweet? Because
No.
he was literally, he ran a practice this morning. I saw the videos on Twitter of him interviewing, and
Yeah, I know.
think that's what baffled me. Was
No,
just
we're
like
going to
the
talk
timing
about
of
it. Trust me, we're going to dive into the intricacies of the firing. But before we do, I got to tell you what I did. So me, RT, and Gek, we recorded the Pistons because we originally said if the Kings win, we're going to record after the game. If not, but then there was something that told us to record. So last second, RT came over at 11:30. So we recorded late, and then Gek filled in. It was me, RT, and Gek, and we started the podcast with a big hug. And then Gek comes in and he says, "It can't get worse than this." And the top comment on our last video said, "It can't get any worse. Has aged horribly," is what the comment said the next day. So I was editing that video. I didn't go to bed till 5:30. So I woke up around 9:30, 10, and then we're doing stuff with Gek and everything. And then I was so tired, so I took a nap. I get woken up an hour into my nap by Gek, and he said, "Cree." He shows me the phone. He shows me
Was Gek here?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
He comes into my room. He wakes me up and he shows me the news, and I'm like, "You gotta be." I didn't believe it. I was like, "Stop, you're lying." I literally told him, I was like, "Stop, you're lying."
Wow.
And he's like, "No, like I'm not. It actually happened." And then like, dude. And then I texted you guys, no. And then our team made his video, and then I was like, I don't know what to do. Like, I got to do something. And then first thing that came to mind after watching RT's videos, it inspired me to make the video of me outside, mimicking all of Mike Brown's greatest moments. And here we are. So that's how we found out the news. And now let's talk about what actually went down, because I think we're all on the same page here. We absolutely hated what happened. And Kings fans were very indifferent about the move. Like, some people, like RT said his phone was blowing up. Mine, like, it felt like I was the one that broke the news, because so many people were reaching out to me. They're saying, "Oh, this was the move that needed to happen." Dude, what are the Kings doing?
Oh
it was
my
so
God.
back and forth. I was getting like,
That's so polarizing.
I was gonna put a poll out because I was like, "How are we feeling? Like, was this the right move, or yes or no?" I wanted to see, because it felt like what I was receiving was Kings fans were. A lot were for the firing, which blew my mind.
That's
and then
shocking.
a lot
It's the
were,
timing of it. It was the timing of it that shocked a lot of people, I think.
Yeah, but there's a lot of people that wanted it to happen.
Right,
And
for
then-
sure.
And then a lot of people that were like, "What are we doing?" So I'm glad. I mean, I'm not glad, but it was like a 50-50 split essentially. But anyways, let's talk about what actually happened. So backstory: Kings were 13-13. Johnny said, "This is the time. This is a brand new season. It starts now." Well, we had that 5-game homestand, and we lose game after game
Classic
after
Johnny
game after
prediction.
game after game.
Classic Johnny prediction.
So Johnny predicted
We're still winning 50 games. I don't want to. I don't want to freaking hear it.
So we lose those 5 games. We go 13-18, right? We lose the back-to-back home games against the Lakers. We have 3 days off with Christmas, and then we played the Pistons.
Oh no, we played the Pacers before that.
Sorry, yes, we played the Pacers the day
We don't talk
after
about that game,
Christmas. We're not talking about that, and then we played the Pistons. So. Yeah, the Pacers game was the 5th loss in a row, and then we play the Pistons. So
And then
we all know what
On the
happened.
road, Lakers, and then we lose to them too.
Yeah, but
We don't not talk about that game.
no,
either.
we're talking about what
Skip,
happened to
skip.
about how he got fired first. So then, De'Aaron Fox, late closeout, wasn't guarding the perimeter for some reason. Fouls Jaden Ivey, 4-point play, we lose. Going into that game, we didn't know this when it happened, but Sean Cunningham, he was on the Deuce and Mo podcast, and he revealed that this Pistons game was like make it or break it for the organization. So they knew if we were going to win that game, Mike Brown would have not been fired. But since we lost, and I think since it was in such traumatic fashion, that led to the firing, because essentially the Kings organization made up their mind before the winner loss. They're like, if we win, he's good. If we lose, gone.
So when we say Kings organization, is it Vivek? Is
It's
it
the
Monty?
higher up.
Is it
It's the
both?
higher up. It's the higher up.
So
Vivek.
who, in your opinion, is more responsible for this firing, Vivek or Monty?
Say it on 3. 1, 2, 3.
Vivek. That's, at least we have that covered.
Yes, okay.
I think that's the agreed upon.
That's the agreed upon
but
consensus.
But
yeah.
I think a lot of people don't understand that, like, yes, Vivek hired Monty McNair to make the basketball moves. But if you're a long-term Kings fan, you know that our franchise is known for making very rash decisions based on our ownership.
Yeah. And ownership pays the coach's salary.
Pays
right?
the
'Cause it's
coaches,
not on
pays
the cap.
Monty's. They pay everyone out of their pocket. So every decision at the end of the day has to be approved by Vivek. So I think
Vivek just came in and just was like, he was going to just use his owner powers, and basically it was like, you know what, enough's enough. We have to do something. And he felt like Vivek firing Mike Brown was the right decision. I completely disagree with that. Because I just think that what Vivek, and it stems from what he's done when he first took over the team. It's an ongoing cycle. An ongoing cycle, because he took over the team in 2012, 2013. That was after the Maloofs, right after the Maloofs, and it's just consistency of inconsistency.
So, do you think during the time that the Pistons beat us to when the firing actually happened the next day, do you think that was Monty trying to get Vivek to change his mind on Mike? Do you think that was the time?
I was hoping so.
Because why Vivek being such an impulsive decision maker, why would he wait a whole almost 24 hours to fire him?
I think they must
do
have
you
had
think
a
it was
meeting
Monty
before.
just giving one last like, hey, I don't think this is the right move, or the front office being like, hey, maybe we shouldn't make such a rash decision right now, and then Vivek, I don't know, maybe he had to get his Temple coffee in the morning and then realize after a post practice interview that we need to let him go. Do you think that was the case? Because the timing is odd. That's the biggest thing.
Very odd.
Because the way you put it, when you put it into that perspective, like the timing was so bad, which is what caused such a uproar and a frenzy on.
Vivek was at the game, correct? The Pistons game.
No, he wasn't.
He wasn't.
There's a lot of conspiracy
That's
theories that I have in my head about what went down with how there was, that the lady that we love that sits courtside, she was not there that game, which she never misses games.
Never.
So I think it was like a predetermined thing, but to do it at a time that they did where Mike Brown goes through an entire full practice, he talks to the media for 20 minutes after the practice and is driving in his car on the way to the airport to meet the team to get on the plane to fly to LA. That's when he gets the call.
So who makes that decision though? Someone who pays Mike Brown's paycheck.
That's what
AKA
I'm saying.
Vivek.
Yeah.
He's saying, I want to get every last minute of worth from you, of
That's a
dollar
good
worth
point.
from you, because I'm paying your salary for you to not even be in that seat.
Dude,
so he's saying hey, if I'm firing you, you're giving me one more practice, which is a shady thing to do.
Dude, and that's
shady.
what caused so many people. I wrote down a list of the people that had very, very intense responses online.
Oh my God.
Starting with
God.
Mike Malone. Actually, I think Rick Carlisle was the first video I saw. It was Rick Carlisle first, then Mike Malone, then I think it was JB Bickerstaff and Steve Kerr. And then the one that surprised me the most was Andrew Yang.
Oh, and Jordy Fernandez, he was.
Jordy Fernandez on the list. But do you guys know who Andrew Yang is?
I know he's like a big politician.
He's a politician that was a presidential candidate.
Yeah, presidential candidate.
So you're telling me that this sent shockwaves not just in the NBA sphere. It was like everyone in the world was anyone that watches basketball was talking about it, and he even said he's like, it is not Mike Brown's fault, the reason why they're losing. And I think everyone could relate to that. But the thing that Mike Malone said that was just so spot on was it sucks that this happened to Mike, but it doesn't surprise me because I got fired by the same exact guy. And Monty McNair wasn't there when Mike Malone was coaching. It's the higher up. So I think he confirms everyone's belief that it was the Vivek decision. And I think Monty McNair was backed into a corner by his boss having to make a very irrational move because of something that's what he wanted, basically forcing it. And then there was a report that Ramona Shelburne came out with today saying that the Kings were they tried trading for Levine, Brandon Ingram, Cam Thomas, and Kuzma right before firing Mike Brown. So they were trying to make the move, but those four players, I don't think any of those guys. Those are just more scorers. Where's the defense? When I saw that, I'm like, dude,
there's no defense, but Cam Thomas on the Kings would be so fun.
I guarantee you,
he
would be a fan favorite.
Oh,
I would guarantee you a lot of those deals included Keegan Murray, and I think that they were like, no, we're not going to trade Keegan Murray.
Yeah, and I bet Keon
Ellis.
But yeah, see, we'll talking about the trade speculations in a bit, but like the fact that the 4 guys we were trying to go for are not the guys that would help us with our weaknesses, aka defense, that is the most shocking to me.
That's wild.
Another thing that happened was today, Kyle Draper was talking on the 1140 show, and he said that the news came out when everyone was boarding onto the plane. And he said that it was absolutely silent. Everyone on the team was on their phones calling people. And he said from the moment the plane took off to when it landed to that whole day in LA and leading up to the shoot around the day before the Lakers game, it was just pure silence, and it was just awkward, and people were devastated. And the media, God, dude, the media is terrible because
there were some vultures out there.
They're trying to make it seem like
the vultures,
De'Aaron
they came out hard.
is the reason why Mike Brown got fired, when De'Aaron and Rasay have been so vocal about how much they love Mike Brown, and they're trying to make it seem like De'Aaron and the team, they don't like how Mike Brown was singling him out, when De'Aaron Fox has said multiple times that he likes being coached hard by Mike Brown and that it makes him better. He said, as a competitor, I like being coached hard by Mike Brown. And he's defended, or he said how much he likes Mike Brown recently on Draymond Green's podcast. And like this, so when I saw all of these reports by the NBA media that is trying to just dismantle this franchise and get Fox out and get just, they're trying to break Sacramento with all their reports, and you've seen how it's affecting De'Aaron. De'Aaron is like chirping back on Twitter, you know, like he's obviously seeing everything, and he's having to like clear his name because all these false reports are going out there because Mike Brown was his guy. And then also in the Ramona Shelburne article, it said that Sabonis, Fox, and DeRozan weren't consulted at all with the firing. So that just debunks everything as well. So clearly, I think we could all agree it was a Vivek decision, and obviously he's not going to do it, so Monty McNair has to. And that's kind of where we're at with that. I wrote down, the media, they were trying to use that clip of Mike Brown and De'Aaron having that conversation at the practice facility in Sacramento right before they took off as like him telling De'Aaron that he was getting fired and this and that, when really all he was doing was probably just being a leader as a coach, talking about that final play in the game and just, you know, trying to like lift his spirits, because obviously De'Aaron knows he messed up. He was upset in the post-game presser, and like Keegan Murray said in an interview that De'Aaron like took accountability and like said like that was my bad. Mm-hmm. And then in the end it resulted in a coach getting fired, which is just ridiculous. And like what RT was saying was just like a repeating cycle. And that's like, it's terrible that the media, when we've been like hoping that they would talk good like about our team, here it goes again where they're like, we're becoming the laughing stock again with a organizational move that the fan base and the players have no control over. Yeah. So, you know, it was a devastating day.
Yeah. And I think with the way the season has gone, I think Kings fans wanted a change, right? Whether it was coaching, like some really didn't want Coach Brown there anymore. Some wanted trades, some preferred trades over a coaching move like me. So my prediction, or not prediction, but my best guess is Vivek gave Monty, or let Monty know, like, hey, I'm ready to make this decision. Make a trade that changes this team, or this is the decision that I'm going to make.
Yeah,
and
I agree with that.
I think there might have been a trade on the table after the Pistons game that had to, you know, sit or loom for the other team to decide, and in the morning it didn't happen, and I think Vivek made the final decision. But yeah, I think we can all agree that this was an ownership change or an ownership decision, Vivek decision. I don't know who else really is involved. There could be other people involved too, but I think Vivek gave Monty the ability to make a trade, and when that trade didn't come to fruition, he decided that something had to be done because he let the pressure get to him, he let the noise of the fans get to him, and he pulled the trigger on the firing ultimately after Monty couldn't get a trade.
No, there was definitely like pressure, as you were saying. Like the fans were...
Something had to be done.
Like I think we all knew that. I remember I sent a text out to Jiho and I told him, I was like, something is going to happen that will either break the franchise or elevate it in the next couple of days. And he was like, why so soon? And I was like, look what's happening. Like a losing streak like this, like with the amount of media attention it's been getting, like it's going to lead to something.
Yeah.
And I think going off of what you said about Vivek and Monty, like maybe Vivek put like gave him that ultimatum. Like, if a trade isn't made,
For sure.
then the firing needs to happen.
That only makes sense with the timing that it happened.
Timing, yeah.
Like, it literally only makes sense that we were waiting for a trade to not go through or for a team to back out on a certain trade, because why else would you fire him, in an afternoon the day after the game? That doesn't make any sense unless you're waiting for something to go through or not go through.
Yeah, just the way it happened was it was a disgrace. Honestly, I felt personally attacked. Like, I think everyone was like hurt by the way we did it. Like, it was classless. It was like, just to do that to like a human,
Yeah.
Like, it's just like,
It's just very low.
it was very low. Like,
Yeah.
Mike Malone said it best.
No class.
It's
no
like
balls.
it's like working an 8-hour shift at a job, and then at the end of it, your boss letting you go. Like, after your shift.
Yeah, but
Like,
this
come
job
on.
is in the very public eye,
For
you
sure.
know? So it's like
I
a
think
little bit
everyone-
different.
yeah.
But still, it's like
No,
the same
but still,
concept.
it's like getting fired after working, part of your day. But it's like, I think everyone can agree, there's an argument on whether you're for the firing or against the firing. But I think everyone can agree that the timing is just embarrassing. It's just, it's unprofessional, the timing of it. And I think that's what everyone can kind of agree on, whether you agree with the firing or not.
No, yeah. I think, again, it's just disrespectful to Mike Brown. And, like, we did him so dirty. And I think that is... I just don't like that it's a reflection on Sacramento as a whole. Like, it should be like a direct shot at the ownership and the...
More of a direct shot. It's been a direct shot at Vivek for the last 10 years.
I know. That's what I'm saying. Like, this just, like... People are saying some pretty ruthless stuff about Vivek right now, but another thing that I've been seeing all over online is, instead of dipping into the luxury tax and paying like that extra $30 million to be in the luxury tax, Vivek decides to just eat the $30 million that he owes Mike Brown and fire him. So clearly, like, his ownership mentality and his mindset is just, it's way off. Like, yeah, and like, that's just been a thing that Sacramento's had to deal with ever since we got here, basically. Like, with the Maloofs and now Vivek, like, our ownership group has been very unstable, and that just is a reflection with all of the coaches we had. Like, Mike Brown, he was in Sacramento era history. He's the second coach to have winning seasons. Like, he has a 107-88 record as a coach, and you don't even give him like the full season. Like, every team goes through these like losing skids, and yes, like, obviously, like, this season has not been going how we thought, but like, to make Mike Brown the scapegoat, it's just repeating history, and it's so unfortunate. I feel so bad for Mike Brown because he's such a great person as a coach, off the court. Like, everyone has good things to say about him in the organization, but
he's loved in the community too.
Dude, everyone loves him.
He goes to high school football games and just shows his support
all the time. And
all
he's
the
so
time.
respected throughout the entire NBA.
All
Like,
of it,
every
yeah.
coach has only good things to say about him. All the players, all the players that have played under him, have amazing things to say.
Even
So
his
it's
neighbor.
just-
There was a YouTube video, I think that the Kings posted, and someone commented and was like, "I'm Mike Brown's neighbor, and every time he goes to take the trash out, I talk to him about the Kings." And literally, it was
I did not
someone.
see this.
It was a comment on one of the Kings videos, and he was like, "This is embarrassing. Like, Mike Brown loves the city. Like, every time he would come out and see him in the driveway taking out the trash, he would like chat up with him, and he was just such a friendly guy, and he loved being here." And I think Vivek got a pass early because when he bought the team in 2013, he was a new owner, right? He didn't really know how to work things out. But dude, you've been owning this team for 10 years now. Like, you should learn, and especially someone that's finally bringing you winning, you should hold on to that as close as you can, because you didn't have that the first 9 years. And so he got the passes kind of early on because he's a new owner, but you should know better now. And I feel like that's why people are so enraged. It's because it's like, dude, we get that you went through your lumps being this fresh owner, being this new guy who wants to like leave his mark on a team. But the person that finally brought you winning, you just want to let go at a snap of a finger. That doesn't make sense.
Very well said, John.
Well said.
Very well said. Another thing, it's like, he was coach of the year. He was part of the turnaround. Like 16 losing seasons. We bring in Mike Brown right away. A different culture. We break the drought. 48 wins, 46 wins. A slow start. Gone. 2.5 seasons. That's all he lasted. And I saw something that was really eye-opening to me. Was there was a list of all of the coach of the year winners, and then it shows like how recently they get fired after winning. And I think that is just expectations. As you get these high accolades and like you make the playoffs, it's like, okay, once you get there, that's what is expected out of you. And like, since we weren't on that trajectory, even though it's so early on in the season, there's still so much that could happen. Like Philadelphia, for example, they're 2-12. They were 2-12 to start the season, and now they're like a game behind us right now.
Milwaukee's the same thing.
Same story with Milwaukee. There's so many teams, and like if you look across the league, like there's teams like Washington that have won 4 games. There's the Pelicans have won 5. They're not firing Willie Green because they're 5-28. It's just, dude, the reason why we're still talking about this is because it actually it upsets me a lot, and that's why today we were wearing our Mike Brown Coach of the Year shirts.
Yep.
And man, I mean, but at the end of the day, there's nothing that us as a fan base or us as individuals that we could do to alter the decision that was made.
Right.
It is time to move on
time
to the
for a
Doug
new
Christie
era.
era.
Oh, if only I had a jersey.
It's time to move on to the
I
Doug
had one
Christie
too.
era.
Sheesh.
Let's see what we have to do.
What is this?
geez.
Wow. Whoa, 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 whoa. Whoa! My God. Yeah, oh, you know what?
Wait,
All right.
Wait, yeah. Where's yours, dude?
Let's see. Let's see mine.
wait, what's going on here? What's going on here? Show the back. The Doug
uppercut.
Christie era is here.
The uppercut legend. The uppercut
Hey,
legend.
come here, Rick Fox. Come here. Oh! Doug Christie era has officially begun. He's got his first win tonight. RT, do you have something that you want to show us?
I do. Let me press the little button. And on 3, 2, 1.
Boom!
He's gonna get it. He's gonna get
I'm
it.
gonna get it. I'll close my eyes and do it. Here we go.
Boom!
Here, let me just do it.
There
There we go.
Yes!
Doug Christie got his
DC.
first win as an
DC.
interim head coach in the 2024-2025 season. DC, uppercut legend, bald beauty.
Bald beauty.
What other nicknames do we have for him? DC.
DC.
I call him the capital.
Dougie.
The capital.
Capital.
Dougie. I mean, talk about a whirlwind of emotions for Doug Christie, going from the guy that was traveling with Sabonis over each summer trying to better his post game to being the guy that's the first one off the bench to high five and slap our players' asses on the court to now being the interim coach for the Sacramento Kings. His first game was against the Lakers. Obviously, that was just,
We're skipping that.
we're not going to talk about it, but we lost. But we lost.
One thing I will say, though, we were down 20 going into the third quarter. At the end of the third quarter, we did cut the lead to 6, and I was like, ooh, I felt good about this. And then, obviously, we don't close out. So what I felt like was, they're playing for Doug Christie. They're playing a little bit harder. DeRozan's playing a little bit harder. Fox, Sabonis, all the guys were playing harder. I think Doug was still trying to figure out his minutes and all that stuff. So, I mean, that loss was kind of warranted a little bit. But
I wasn't surprised we lost.
I'm not surprised
at all.
I wasn't surprised. I thought, one, we were going to win. I was going to be like, you let the Lakers, we let the Lakers, you let us beat you, Lakers, or poverty. Another win for Sabonis against AD. The Rosen curse is over for LeBron. But we didn't win, and I was okay with that. And in my mind, I was like, all right, you know what? Like, just, I'm going to give it, wait till Monday and see what happens. And then
Tonight was a different story. Although the Dallas Mavericks were missing Luka Doncic, Kyrie Irving, Klay Thompson, Dante Exum. I'm missing one other. What's his name?
Najee Marshall?
Najee Marshall, suspended.
And then Derek Lively.
And Derek Lively. Man, they were missing their starting 5 essentially, but it doesn't matter because the Kings needed to win a game. It's been 3 weeks since we've won. This was a game that was all over the place. I mean, we were down what? 18 points in the first quarter. Yeah. I mean,
largest comeback this season.
Yeah, I mean, but the thing I like a lot about Doug Christie is the way he just motivates the players. I mean, I think that's what everyone could respect about Doug. One, he's a fan favorite from his time with the Kings. He was a broadcaster. He was assistant coach for 3 years, and now he's the head coach. The players all know Doug very, very well, so they respond to him well. Not saying that they didn't respond to Mike well, but in this instant transition, you have no choice.
Yeah.
And I think another thing I need to add, Sean Cunningham also said on the Deuce and Mode podcast that before we hired Mike Brown, there's many, many, many people within the organization. And when he says that, I assume the higher ups that were pushing for Doug Christie to be the coach before we even hired Mike Brown. So then that goes back to was like this like Vivek's master plan to get Doug Christie in the coaching seat. But at the end of the day, it happened, and here we are. We're rocking our Doug Christie gear, and this is our new. I mean, going into this season, I would have never thought we'd be here right now.
Not on my bingo card.
Not at all.
And we got to give Doug Christie a clean slate, right? So he's 1-1 now during his interim stint. And he's a fan favorite, right? He's a master motivator. He's going to be a player's first coach. Yeah, I mean, we saw that the Lakers game where they're picking up full court, even though we're down 10, 15 points. I think DeMar DeRozan actually said it best. They asked him after the Mike Brown firing, what a main difference is going to be between Coach Brown and Coach Christie. And he said, plain and simple, Coach Christie played in this league. It's different when the voice from your coach is coming from a former player. So that's going to be refreshing, give the guys a different perspective on our coach. And there's going to be, obviously, they're all vets, but there's going to be things that Christie teaches them, I think, on the defensive end that can really help them. And I mean, I'm interested to see how our guys react to a coach that's kind of a little bit harder, a little bit more stern, doesn't have as much coaching experience, but has more playing experience, obviously, than Mike Brown. So yeah, I mean, the firing should be a wake up call for our guys, but I'm glad we have Coach Christie in the seat to give him that extra fire, that extra juice. Because if he can't motivate you, I don't know what can, because he's a master motivator.
Calling him Coach Christie is crazy.
That's wild.
Oh my god, like that made
I got to get used to it though.
Dude, like hearing that is crazy. Coach
he's our
Christie,
coach, man.
Dude, he is. And I like how you said Doug Christie with defense, because Doug Christie only played 5 years for the Sacramento Kings, and he was number 2 on the all-time steals list.
Not until tonight, though.
Up until when De'Aaron passed him. But the reason why I brought it up is because Doug Christie only played with us for 5 years.
5 years.
De'Aaron is in his 8th season. Talk about a defensive minded man.
That's
and Doug
first team all
Christie,
defense, baby.
I know. And it's just like having that guy as your new leader. I mean, obviously he was leading the team from his position before taking over the team. But now it's like you could see it tonight where we were down bad in the first half. We were climbing back. We made that adjustment in the second quarter. But from like the third quarter on, our defense was insane. And I love the rotations that he used tonight versus in that Laker game. Like we've been preaching to the choir, every single Kings fan, play Keon, play Keon, play Keon. In the Laker game, he played 11 minutes, scored 11 points, he's the plus minus merchant, plus again in those 11 minutes. He played incredible. And then tonight he got a lot longer leash than 11 minutes, and he was great defensively. I mean, right when he checks in, he picks someone's pocket, he intercepts the passing lanes. Like Keon Ellis, it should be Doug's guy. And I just think that the rotations tonight were great, even though we're going up against a Dallas team that was missing all their best players.
You still got to perform. They're still NBA players.
Dude, Dude, PJ Washington and
Kane Hardy.
My brother texted me that everyone who was out, and I said, PJ Washington and Spencer Dinwiddie masterclass incoming. And they had
Nailed it.
30 points for Spencer and 28 for PJ. PJ had 19 in the first quarter. Dude, I was very nervous.
Wasn't there a tweet that somebody said that PJ Washington, it was like the 40-point game where he had against us when he was against Charlotte? I saw 42. That on Twitter, and I was like, oh, is this going to happen again?
A Kings fan put that out and said, I'm just going to put this out here just to put it out. Which, honestly, like, I'm glad they did, because, like, PJ is a bucket.
He's a dog.
And it's like his role with Kyrie and Lucas way different than when it's just him. So it's like same with Spencer. Like when those two are on the court with Kyrie and Luka, it's like they're kind of like they're like 5th, 6th, 7th option, but when
they
it's
see
just
games
them,
like tonight and they're like, this is my time to
finally
have a good game.
Yeah, I mean, it was all over. We were down 19 in the first, or 18 in the first quarter.
God.
They hit 7 of 8 from 3 in the first quarter. PJ had 19. We had 5 turnovers, and we're down 17. And then with 3 seconds left, Keon makes a little nice. It looked like a wide receiver out there the way he cut for that De'Aaron pass, and he fades in the corner and cuts the lead to 14 at the buzzer. So we're down 14 going into the first quarter, and I'm like, that kind of gave us a little bit of breathing room. 14 is a lot better than 17. But second quarter, we played great. We outscored the Mavericks 33-23, and we cut the lead to 4 going into the second half. So what did you guys see from the first quarter? What was the biggest takeaway? And who were your standout players?
I think the intensity just picked up. I think Keon picked up. I think Fox picked up on the defensive end. He's our leader, right? So when he's getting stops and steals, we play better. But it looked like Doug Christie just kind of motivated them after that first, saying, like, if we want to get back in this game, we need to keep getting stops. And I feel like our physicality, because the Dallas is a very physical team. Gaffert's very physical. PJ's very physical. Their guards, Hardy's, they're physical too. So
Grimes is another guy.
Grimes I like Quentin Grimes a lot. I like his defense. He's just a very steady kind of Josh Hart type player. But I think after that first quarter, we just matched their physicality. And then once we did that, I think it just came down to us having stars, and then our stars stepped up. Sabonis started scoring. DeMar started scoring. But it came down to stops and physicality. And once we showed them that, hey, we're not going to get pushed around, we let our stars, score.
Yep. I mean, I agree. I think it's pretty much straightforward. I think when you get stops, it's easy to go on runs. And tonight we took advantage of a team, thankfully, that had all their players rested. So, because in years past, we wouldn't do that. And like last year, that's not me.
I kicked it. I kicked the can.
Kick the can, man. What you doing? No, that's okay. But last year we would do bad against those teams that would rest stars, and this is a little glimmer of hope. Just I'm knocking on wood. There's wood on the floor right now, but that's.
Dude, we lost to the freaking Pistons. With no win is guaranteed this season.
Yeah, no win is guaranteed.
I don't care who they're missing. I don't care if we're playing freaking Rio Mercado Raiders varsity team. No win is guaranteed.
Yeah, no win's guaranteed. But it's just nice to just get a win.
Yes,
and take care of business. I think that's what the whole message is. We took care of business tonight. After struggling in the first quarter, getting our bearings down, and then we had the halftime adjustment, and then we took off from there. So
my favorite part of the game was that third quarter, 17-2 run.
My God,
that was electric.
The bench production. Trey Lyles, Kevin Herter, Keon Ellis, like those three guys deserve those three guys.
Champagne shower in the locker room.
All of them,
honestly, it was so great to see.
Split all the D-Pod crowns. Like, give them like 3 different D-Pod crowns. Like, give Trey one, give Keon one, give Kevin Herter a D-Pod chain. Like, just bring them all out, because all 3 of them deserved it. The fact that they played with so much energy. Trey Lyles looked like a madman. He looked pissed in the third and fourth quarter. He was barking at Mavs players.
I love that tech.
He was barking, and it just fueled them. Fox and Monk, it was the Kentucky connection. They had a nice little alley-oop towards the end.
Oh my God, to end the quarter.
Fox had 33 tonight. He was balling out. Sabonis with another double-double, 17 and 16. These are the type of wins. And I wanted to come on here and just say this. I think with the next stretch of games that we have,
Oh God!
We play.
Look in the camera. Don't look at us.
We play the Sixers, and that means then they'll be coming on a back-to-back. So they'll have a back-to-back. So we play them first, and then they play Golden State. The Golden State game will be a national television game. So I'm assuming that Embiid's just going to be like, you know what? I'm just going to rest for that game. I want to be on national TV. I'm this big flopper. I want to just rest for the Sacramento game. Then we play the Grizzlies on Friday. No John Morant. So that was very huge.
I did not know that.
He's out for a week to week with shoulders with an grade 1 AC sprain.
Oh my gosh. The turnaround.
And then Sunday we play Golden State in Golden State. We've always matched up well against them. And then Monday, we play the Miami Heat. They have been dealing without Jimmy Butler. Jimmy Butler probably will take a couple weeks off.
He's not playing against us.
He's not playing against us. So, I'm predicting.
Oh, say it.
What's the prediction?
You ready? I think you and I are going to be on the same page on this.
Wait, how many games is there?
There's 4 games.
Okay, what's your 4-game prediction?
Are you ready for this?
Oh, God.
4-0, baby.
Are we going on a 5-game winning streak?
We're going on a 5-game winning streak. We're putting ourselves back into the race. Before we go to Boston, probably get our ass kicked by Boston.
We're not winning. We're not winning that.
Hey, if we win 5 straight, I'll lose by 50 to Boston.
I'll take that. We'll take that. But I think tonight showed me that the season's not dead. We still have a chance of really making a big run. The 9 to 10, 11 seeds right now, they're all at 500.
There's some teams below.
There's some teams below
Phoenix
too.
Suns.
Phoenix Suns.
They said,
Spurs are going to be below.
Down there with
Spurs are going to be below 500 pretty soon. Golden State, they've been on a massive, massive slump. So this is the time, boys.
It's easy. I don't hate it. Honestly, I don't hate it.
I might be delusional just because it's like we just come off a win and I'm just spewing some stuff.
I don't want to say I agree because it's not going to happen.
Somebody's got to keep hope.
We're losing the next one.
I'm blind faith. It's like Sandra Bullock in like that one movie where she's like, it's like a picture of her being blind. Yeah, something like that. Bird Box. Yeah, and I'm just like the person rowing that's like blind. It's like, yeah, you know what? We're going to win the next 4 games.
I love that, RT.
You know what? I believe now.
Looking at the schedule and like how lucky we are with the opposing team having injuries, honestly, I think it actually could happen because what today showed me as well, we did something very different in the third quarter. We sat DeMar DeRozan a majority of the third quarter and a majority of the fourth quarter. Because when DeMar DeRozan was out there this game, his defense, we saw it in the Laker game, we've seen it all season. But in this game, in the Laker game specifically, he was getting targeted. He couldn't defend. He fouls all the time. For Doug Christie to step in and then take out a superstar in the NBA and have him bench him for like 15 minutes. People on Twitter were saying, "Is DeMar injured?" Like people didn't know. Mm-hmm. But I think that was such a crucial move because the bench was rolling. The guys that like Trey Lyles, the past couple of games has been playing amazing. Malik Monk in his press conference, did you guys hear what he said about Trey Lyles?
What'd he say?
He said, the reason why Trey Lyles is playing so much better is because he started the season fat and he lost some pounds and he's playing a lot better because he's lighter on the court. That's the only reason why he's playing good.
Trey.
So Trey,
shout out Trey.
Trey stopped going to crew and national proper. He was injured. He had to get his feet up. He stopped going to Sacramento's best restaurants and he locked in and he's been playing amazing the past couple of games. Knocking down threes, getting charges. Showing that dog. That was my favorite part of tonight. We all remember the Brook Lopez punch, and then tonight he was chirping at the ref. Like, dude, I love seeing that. We need that. And I mean, I think we wouldn't have won that game if it weren't for our bench tonight.
Yep. That second half game be big 2022, 2023 Kings vibes for sure.
I agree.
Especially that Monk to Fox alley-oop. I was just like, this is the Kings team that we're used to seeing. And I think it can carry us to a little winning streak for sure.
And we shot the 3 horribly tonight, and we still find a way to win.
Yep.
I don't know the final number of the 3-pointers, but
I'll look it up.
Either way, we won. And my biggest takeaway from the fourth quarter was Keegan Murray filling in for the center position, and he was locking down Gafford. He had like 3 possessions back to back.
He did a pull a chair on him too. There was a moment where
Keegan
was
fighting down there. I mean, we've been lacking size. Lacking rim protection, and with Dallas, they had 13 blocks this game. We only had 1, but we found a way to win.
Okay.
We found a way to defend. We went up 14 points in the fourth as our biggest lead, and then the biggest takeaway is that we played with heart. We've been saying, RT's been saying, Kings have no heart. Kings have no heart. We play. But tonight, it felt like we played with heart, and that was the biggest takeaway from the game.
Finally did. But I do want to bring back your point of us shooting horribly. So we shot 10 for 32, which is 31.
We got to 10.
31%.
We got to 10,
and Dallas shot 12 for 31, which is 38%.
They shot terribly in the second half.
They shot bad in the second half, and that's all it took.
I think they went 4 for 20 in the third quarter at one point.
That's all it took.
You guys want to hear a crazy stat?
Yes.
So plus minus, right? Stat we love. De'Aaron Fox plus 17. But he was only second.
No.
You know who got first?
No.
Someone had a plus 31.
It wasn't
and
the
his name rhymes with Day Files. Trey Lyles had a plus 31 in this game.
Lyles.
Are you kidding
me? He almost had a plus minus
31.
Same jersey number almost.
I've never
10 away from 41.
I don't think I've ever seen a plus that high in my life.
That's insane.
Dude, it was the Trey Lyles game tonight. He ended the game.
That's who should get the debug. That's who should.
So
get the
imagine
debug.
we have a Trey Lyles back healthy off our bench, and then we add a Devin Carter, and we got those 2 guys off our bench.
I want to talk a little bit about that.
We'll talk about winning streak.
I want to talk a little bit about it. Let's talk about it later, though.
Plus 31.
But that's insane. That's insane.
That's insane.
Quick stat check: 33 for Fox. Monk 14, 7 rebounds, 6 assists. Sabonis 17 points, 6 rebounds, 7 assists. DeRozan with barely playing 14 points. Trey 14 huge points. Keon Ellis 7 points, 5 rebounds, 2 steals. And then on the opposing side, PJ with 28 and Spencer with 30. But we get a 10-point victory. We finally win a game at home. We finally get a win before the 2024 season ends. It was a massive win. It doesn't matter who's on the court on the other side. It was a huge win. We needed it more than anything. And boys, we got Devin Carter joining the team very, very soon. He played one game in Stockton.
Wow.
He
lit it up.
Immediately gets called up.
Too, and
he played at the Golden One Center, so he's familiar with the rims now. But the fact that we called him up right away, because I thought we were gonna let him play like maybe 4 or 5 games to like get more reps in, get his cardio up. But the Kings, we need him bad right now. He finished the game against the
Austin Spurs.
Austin Spurs, yes. Spurs. He had 29 points. RT, I want you to break down what you saw, because I know you are a G League fanatic.
I am a Devin Carter stan. For those that don't know, Devin Carter is the reason I like Providence as a college basketball team. Him and Bryce Hopkins. Shout out to Bryce Hopkins. But Devin Carter, what I saw from the G League was he just looked unconscious from deep. Like he was taking shots from the damn near the logo, 30 feet, and he was just shooting it with poise and confidence. He was aggressive. He looked like the best player on the court. And by far, not even close. And so he was a dog defensively. I mean, he had 3 steals, and he was just being a pest in the lanes, in the passing lanes. Oh my God. I was just like, if we get this version of Devin Carter, where he is like a hybrid of Malik Monk on offense and then Davion Mitchell on defense, like that is such a huge thing as a contributor, where you could just be like, you have Keon Ellis and Devin Carter as the backup perimeter defenders in your bench. Like, think about how crazy that is. I don't think any guard scoring on either of them. Like, that's the potential. Because I really, really do believe that Devin Carter has a really good chance of being a very good player. I almost want to say that he could be the best player in his draft class. That's how high I think about Devin Carter. And it's not crazy for me to say that, because I just think that he has the intangibles. He has the offensive firepower. He has the defensive ability to just stop whoever. And he is such a game changer. When you watch his highlights from Providence over the last 2 years, he has that takeover ability, and you can just tell that this was his moment. Devin Carter just is unconscious. He's a killer. And I'm so happy he's a Sacramento King. I would not want anybody else to be, as much as we talk about like, oh, we need to get backup wings or backup centers. No, you need dogs on your team. And Devin Carter is a dog. That's all I got to say. Mic drop. Wow.
I love what you had to say. I do want to push back a little bit, because
that's okay. That's
because
fine.
I feel like just to push the conversation forward, people are saying that we're struggling to find minutes for Keon Ellis. How are we going to implement a Devin Carter as well, Coach Clark?
You just play him because
you have to stack minutes. So,
but Jordan McLaughlin hasn't gotten any minutes though either. So I almost feel like rookies do get a lot of the minutes at first. I think especially first rounders, because I think a lot of first rounders that we've seen, especially when they come off the bench, they always just get the minutes because you've done a first round draft pick on them. You're not going to start them and be like, oh, we're going to send our first round draft pick to the G League. That just doesn't happen unless you're Hashim Tabit, and that's like the rarest one.
So you're telling me right when Devin Carter's cleared to play for the Sacramento Kings, he's going to be in like that first rotation off the bench?
I think it will be like the 13. I think he'll average like around 13 to 16 minutes a game to start. I think it's a fair number.
But how does that affect Keon's minutes, Trey's minutes, everyone else off the bench?
I think you could still play Herder and Ellis 15.
You can still play Herder.
Yeah.
I just feel like you could probably cut Herder's minutes a little bit.
Yeah.
It just depends on situation too. So, and again, I don't know when Devin Carter is going to be
soon.
Yeah,
it might be next game.
It might be next game. I'm not like 100% sure. We'll know more just based off of just like what Coach Christie says. And yeah, I know, it's shocking, right? Shocking.
It's so crazy to me.
So crazy.
But I think to me, one of the things that really matters is when he's ready, he'll be ready. So I rather would just have him just be telling us like, listen, this is how many minutes Carter's going to get. We're going to see a tweet that's like, Devin Carter is expected to make his NBA debut tonight. And that's going to be the moment where we really are just going to see it. So it all depends on what the coach decides. I'm not rushing it, but I think you can kind of peel back Kevin Huerter's minutes. You can peel back some players' minutes a little bit and have a balanced 18 to 20 minutes a game and that sorts. You can definitely cut. It helps cutting like some of the starter minutes too.
Because today we did. Like Sabonis played 34. DeRozan probably played
26.
Yeah. Like, If,
So
that's the new norm,
that helps.
then our bench could
Because
actually get a
now
solid
Mike
run.
Brown, because Mike Brown in the past, he would basically play all of our starters for 40 minutes, and then you're like, where's all the bench minutes going? And that's why we've been so low on bench points. But I think having this balanced idea of having your starters being able to play 30 minutes, 35 at max, because it's a long season and you're basically cutting those minutes. Like you can basically go small ball. There's a lot of stuff that you can really do.
Our small ball lineup looked amazing.
It looked amazing tonight.
So
it looked so good. So
again, and they countered with a big. They put Dwight Powell and Gafford out there, and we were still small, and we figured it out.
Murray was locking him down.
Dude, it was incredible. It was just so refreshing to see. I mean, obviously, one game isn't going to fix everything, but it was just steps in the right direction. I mean, we love Mike Brown more than anything. Yeah. We wish him more than the best. Like, I hope that one day we'll see Mike Brown sitting courtside to watch a game. Like, I just hope that we get to see him again because I love him so much.
If we make to the NBA Finals and then Mike Brown's like sitting courtside,
dude,
that'd be incredible.
I would just love.
I would cry.
I would just love to know that Mike Brown isn't like too hurt by what happened, and I hope that he still remains in contact with all of our guys. And I just hope that Mike Brown continues to be a part of our organization. As crazy as it sounds,
he broke the drought
because we love him so much. He just means so much.
He was the coach that broke the drought.
Coach of the year. I mean,
I wonder if he's still in Sac. Like, I wonder if he's like
probably might be.
Wonder if he's at Chargans just soaking it in. He's probably somewhere like you wouldn't ever expect to find him.
Yeah, who knows, man? I mean, like I just wish for the best for him more than anything. But it was great to get a beam tonight. It was so special. A lot of fun stuff to look forward to. Yeah, I think with those games coming up, there's a lot of winnable games. 76ers. Who else? Warriors, Grizzlies, and
the Heat.
The Heat. Yeah, so it's gonna be and three of the four are at home. So
at home, yeah.
Let's rewrite.
My goal. I definitely want to go to a Kings game some point in that span. So we'll figure it out.
Yeah, we got to rewrite home game history and start winning some of these games because we need it more than anything.